Welcome to Photoshop, and today we're going to be going over color casts and how to remove them. Now, color casts happen for a whole bunch of reasons. So in this photo we have sort of a blue cast over here, and then where there's more of a tungsten light we're getting yellow. Now the cause of this is the color temperature of the light. So the bluer the light, the more cyan and blue it's going to have. The lower the Kelvin temperature, the warmer, the more yellow, the more red you're going to get. So we can see over here we've got sort of a neutral color, we've got yellow color over here, and we've got blue color over here. So this is actually one of the most difficult things to deal with when it's just basic toning in photography, because you've got two different color temperatures in the same image, and we might need this wall and this wall to be the same. Now this cyan color is something that you're going to see a lot. I'll get this basically any outdoor photo that I take, and anything that is in shade, especially whites and blacks, will get oversaturated in cyan and blue. Now what does that mean? It's not that it doesn't have that color in it, it's just that it's too much of that color and it's distracting to the image. One of the things that books don't tell you is what to do and when. So they can tell you how to do it, but not when to do it, and not what to do when. So we're going to take a look at what to do when. And one of the actions that I have, and I'll just kind of drag this over real quick, is you'll notice I have a cyan cast removal. And so what cyan cast removal is actually a cyan and a blue cast removal, and that helps me reduce the amount of this cyan and blue in images. Now if I want to keep that, that's fine, I can keep it, but what I've noticed over time is that like 50% of the images I get do have some sort of cyan cast in them. It could just be my camera brand, but I need to remove that cast all the time. So this is a CR2 file. I shoot Canon, so this is pretty typical of what I see in regular type images. So how I deal with that, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to straighten this out because it's driving me nuts. So we're going to go ahead and click on the crop button, and we'll just draw a simple line right here, and we will, that doesn't look right, so let's try this again. See if I can draw a better line. That looks more accurate. Alright, so we're closer to straight, so it's not so cattywampus there. So to remove this cyan cast or reduce it, I'm going to go into my hue saturation adjustment layer. I will tell you that almost all color correction I do in Photoshop is with hue saturation, not the color balance tool. The color balance tool fixes one area and screws the other up. In this case, if I was to hit color balance and I wanted to remove the blue or the cyan, if I add red to it, well, it's going to fix that, start getting rid of the cyan there, but add red everywhere else. Or if I make it more yellow, it's making this more yellow, but getting close to that. The problem with this color or this color is the wrong color, and we just want to switch it to the correct color, and I'll show you what that means here in a second. So I'll turn that off. So to fix that sort of cyan cast, this is basically what I do. I go into cyan and I remove a lot of it, and I'll show you why. And then I'm going to go into blue and I'm going to remove a lot of it. Now I don't want to totally remove the blue and the cyan, so the saturation the whole way down, because that will make it gray. So I don't want it to be gray because it will look fake, but I want to reduce most of the saturation of that color. So this is before and this is after. So what I can do, bring the layers palette over here, if this is too much, and the reason I do a lot in the beginning is because I can just lower my opacity and get it and say, hey, that's where I want that cyan color to be. So I've got a tint of it, but it's not overwhelming and distracting to my image. So the next thing I'm going to do is work on this yellow color over here and try to make it resemble this color over here. So once again, we're going to go into hue saturation. Let me see if I can get this up. I've kind of got my palettes all over the place and not logically laid out. So we're going to put properties up here. And we should be good with that. So we're going to come up here. So the color that is the issue is yellow. So I'm going to pick the yellow color because yellow is what I want to change. The typical thing that I do for yellow is move to the left. So if I take my hue and move it to the left, I can make yellow more red. That's typically what you're going to be doing when adjusting yellow in Photoshop, is you're going to just make the yellow a little bit more red. And the reason is it's just a little too yellow, and sometimes you want red to be a little more yellow. So it kind of just depends on what you want to do. But in this case, I'm going to shift this over because you can see there's a little bit of red over here, and then I'm going to really desaturate this. So I'm going to desaturate this color until I think it's getting close to this hue. Now this has a little bit of red in here, and we can come fix that. And then lightness. A lot of people skip this step, but actually you'll find that this is helpful. Lightness adds like white or brightens that color and darkens that color. So depending on what I want to do, in this case I think I'm going to brighten it a little bit. It still looks a little yellow. Starting to look red. We'll stop there. So that looks pretty good. Is it perfect yet? No. Could I reduce more? Yes. We're getting close. Now, I just wanted that to affect this wall or this area over here, not really up in here and over here. So what we're going to do is get the color black and a brush, and we can come in and paint that out. That way we don't lose that kind of luminance or color in the whole image. We just want to affect this wall, probably here and probably back here. So let me make sure I've got it painted in here. Alright, that looks pretty good. So we're getting closer to a neutral color. So this wall over here is a little bit too much red in it. So how are we going to fix that? Once again, almost everything I do is fixed inside of adjustment layers. So we'll click on adjustments, click on hue saturation, and if we want to adjust the red color, we're going to go up and hit red. The normal adjustment you're going to make is go to the right. That is going to make your reds, as you can see up here, more yellow. Obviously you can go crazy and do other things, but to add a little bit of red to your yellow, you're going to go to the right. So I want to add a little bit of red. Now I'm not looking over here, I'm just looking right here and trying to get that color closer to what I want. And then I'm just going to desaturate that red a little bit. That's going to neutralize that. But then I'm going to paint it back up in here in the bricks because I don't want to lose the saturation of that color here, just here. Okay, looks good. Now this is a little bit darker and this is a little bit brighter. So maybe I can brighten this side of the walls up a little bit. See if that makes it look a little bit better. There's no reason they have to be even, but we'll just go ahead and try it. So we'll make an adjustment layer here. I'm running out of room. There's a little bit of yellow in this. So what I'm going to do is go to blue. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to hit Command I, and that's going to remove that adjustment from everywhere. And then I'm going to take the color white, and I can go up in here, and we'll just do this simply. Not going to spend a lot of time. So you can see that color starting to change, get closer to the color over here. And that looks pretty good for right now. So what have we done? Let's drag this down. We'll click on this top layer and we'll scroll down and click on this layer. And I'm going to shift click, add Command G to a group, and we will turn that on and off. So originally we had an image that looked like this, and we've gotten to this. Hue saturation, a absolute wonderful tool for adjusting color in images, and you'll notice that I even have an action for that Cyan cast, so I can just click on it. That's how often I do it. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave those below, and as always, don't forget to subscribe, and see you next time.